Okay, let's say that you're given this object here and you want to find both the perimeter and the area of it. And the first thing you want to do is you want to get your formula sheets out, because we don't expect you to have all these memorized. We always have to Google and look them up ourselves. So the perimeter of a rectangle, how I always have remembered this is securing the perimeter. You're walking all the way around the perimeter. Well, if this side is 10 centimeters, this side has to be 10 centimeters. You don't want to be tricked on this side, because notice this is cut out. And if you can visualize this, if I can draw it, it looks like it's a circle. And in this case, it looks like it's half a circle. So how I can actually find this distance is, remember, circumference means the distance around, okay, in this case for a circle. And so it says circumference pi, which we know pi is rounded to 3.14, times the diameter, or you can do 2 times the radius. Remember, the diameter is 2 times the radius. So however you want to do this. So if I want to find the perimeter then of this rectangle, you can see this says 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, or that's the same thing as the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. I can see my length is 10 plus 10. This width is 6. So remember the circumference, but you have to be careful. In this case is going to be half of this circle. So it's going to be 1/2. And I'm going to go ahead and use this formula here. 2 pi, okay, there's my pi, times the radius. Well, what's the radius? Well, it's half of this circle. And half of this would be half of 6, which would be 3. So I put all this together, I can see that's 26 plus these 2's actually cancel, right? Because that's like 1/2 times 2 over 1. So those cancel. So I end up with just plus 3 pi. I can move the 3 out front, and remember pi we write as 3.14. Remember, when I have these next to each other, they mean multiplication, okay? So that's 3 times 3.14, and I throw that in a calculator and I get this number, and my units would be in centimeters because I'm just adding up each one of these centimeters. All right, now if we want to find the area, so let me do this over here. So we look at how we find the area of a rectangle is, so the rectangle will be length times width. And if I'm multiplying centimeters times centimeters, this is going to end up being in centimeters square. And so if I found the area of this entire piece, and then I came back and I subtracted out this piece. And so that's what I'm going to do. For the circle, or in this case, the semicircle, so half this circle, I'm going to subtract out. And how do we find area? This pi times the radius squared, but I'm going to take half of it out. So 1/2 pi times r squared. So again, we have our length times width, so 10 times 6 minus 1/2. We'll go ahead and change that to 3.14. We know from earlier that our radius is 3, so that's 3 squared. This would be 60. I did 1/2 times 3.14, and I got 1.57, and I'm going to multiply that times 3 squared, 3 times 3, which is 9. And if I put this still going in a calculator, this piece right here, I get 14.13, and I multiply that out and I get 45.87. And again, you have to be careful because you're multiplying centimeters times centimeters, so this will end up being in centimeters square. So we can see how to get the perimeter and then how to get the area with a piece taken out of it.